So finally, we are starting with our CA intermediate subject number 2 or the paper number 2, corporate and other law. Corporate law is for your 60 marks and the other law is for 40 marks. As far as the corporate law is concerned, we know the Companies Act, it has got 470 sections. We don't have to cover the entire 470 sections at CA intermediate level. We'll start from section 1, and the last section that we have to do in CA intermediate is section 148. So from section 1 to section 148, these are divided into 10 chapters. These are divided into 10 chapters in the Companies Act only. Okay. These are divided into 10 chapters in the Companies Act itself, and they are divided into 10 chapters in terms of your module also. अगर आप अपने module में भी देखोगे, here also you will find 10 chapters only. So if you pick up the bare act of the Companies Act, there also 10 chapters are written like this, and in your module also it is written like this. So these are the 10 chapters which you have to do, in which I have already said you audit and auditors is something which you will be doing again in your audit paper. Accounts, you'll be able to correlate with your advance accounts and your accounts paper. Similarly, share capital and debenture, you'll be able to correlate with your company accounts paper. So your law and accounts paper are quite correlated, and I will try to correlate as much as I can so that it helps you in both the subject and your understanding level is at maximum. Apart from the Companies Act, you also have the other law. Also, if you see, Institute has also set the objectives. What is the objective of teaching you company law here? This is to understand the provisions of the company law and to acquire the ability to address the application oriented issues. This means your understanding should be such where you can apply the learnings of the company law and answer the questions in the exam. Also, if you discuss about the other law, here it is to understand the rules of interpretation of statute. Now, what is a statute? Statute means the law, any law which you have to interpret. Okay, that is your interpretation of statutes. Apart from that, you'll also have to develop the understanding of the select legislations, right? And again, the application oriented issues, you can address that. So in that you will be studying the balance portion of the Indian Contract Act. So if you remember, we have covered Indian Contract Act till section 122 in the foundation level. Now you'll say, sir, the last section that we did in the Contract Act was from section 1 to section 75, and then section 76 to section 122 was not there in the Contract Act. Absolutely, because this has become your Sale of Goods Act. So we have covered section 1 to section 122, this as a part of the Contract Act and these as a part of a Sale of Goods Act. So we have covered that. Now the balance provisions we are going to study at the intermediate level. We also have other two chapters, that is Negotiable Instrument Act. These two I consider as same, though General Clauses Act is a separate act, and interpretation of statutes. So all these are going to be your complete part of your learnings. And as I said that all the amendments, right? All the amendments up to 31st October 2020 is applicable, but this is applicable for the May 2021 attempt students. Since you all will be giving exam in November 2021, all the amendments up to 30th May, okay? All amendments up to 30th May, not 30th May, 30th April. All the amendments up to 30th April would be applicable for your exam. So whatever amendments have come and which are not there in your module, I will tell you from time to time basis that the amendments are there. If you want to see the updated version of the Companies Act, okay, because most of the amendments which you are going to find, you're going to find it in the company law. The other laws don't have such amendments. Whatever amendments you are there in the company law, if you want to just cross check and you want to find out where will we get the amended or the most updated version, I would suggest you go to Google, okay, just go to Google and check the website of Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Just note down the website mca.gov.in. Just go to this website, okay? And most of your class slides that I'm going to make, I'm going to make it from this Ministry of Corporate Affairs website only, because this is like the Karta Dharta for the Companies Act. Every amendment that comes into the Companies Act comes from Ministry of Corporate Affairs only. Okay. So here, if you will drag down towards the left side, you are going to find this ebook. Okay. Once you click on this ebook, you'll find this updated. So if you see, again, this is same what we have studied. This is your chapter number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, till section 148. So once you click on this preliminary, you'll find this, and here you click on this definition, so you'll find this dialog box. So this is the most updated act. So every amendment that has come, you will find it here. So this is the most updated version. No book in the market is as updated as the ebook of Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Okay, so even in the practice also, when I have to give any kind of consultancy, I refer to this ebook only, because the law changes very frequently, right? The law changes very frequently, so there we refer to this book, and here in ebook you'll find the most updated. आप ये देख रहे हो, यहाँ पे जैसे changes दिया हुआ है, स्टार लगा हुआ है, तो ये सब amendments जैसे जैसे आते हैं, green color से कुछ लिखा हुआ है, तो जैसे जैसे amendments आएंगे, they keep on updating it. अभी recently Companies Act में amendment हुआ तो उन्होंने change कर दिया, कभी कोई नया proviso add हो जाता है, sometimes they change the wordings, sometimes and is replaced with or, shall is replaced with may, or vice versa. What all things are there? So you see a new explanation is added, holding company. So you'll find all these changes, right? So all this you can get access at the Ministry of Corporate Affairs website. Time and again, please refer to this website if you want to do. Otherwise, whatever slides I'm going to make, okay, whatever the learning material I'm going to teach you in the class, I will make it from this website only, because this is the most updated. So you will be stress free that whether the chapters that I'm studying is inclusive of amendment or this does not include the amendment. So just be assured that this is going to be all with your amendments only, right? So we'll start with the corporate law. Okay, and in the corporate law we'll start with the first chapter, preliminary. Before starting with the Companies Act, I think I should first discuss with you the structure of the Companies Act. So when I discuss about the Companies Act, so the Companies Act is to be read with. So what is an act? What is an act? You all have read it in foundation. What is act? What is act? We have Negotiable Instrument Act, Companies Act, Indian Contract Act. If I say act, what does this word means? Act. What does this mean? Act. What is act? I'm waiting for your answer in the comment section. What is act? Sale of Goods Act, Indian Partnership Act. If I say anything and I end that word with act, what does this mean? Companies Act. What is act? Act क्या होता है? Ronak has answered in the comment section. It is a bill which is approved by Parliament. Fantastic. So this is a bill which is approved by the Parliament. Okay. So as soon as it is approved by the Parliament, it becomes an act. As soon as it is approved, as soon as a bill is approved by the Parliament, does it become an act? Or there is something else which needs to be done? After the bill is approved by the Parliament, what is next? Very good. It has to be signed by the President of India, correct? So once it is signed by the President of India, then it becomes an act. And after the President signs the act, then it is notified. Yes or no? Then it is notified. Where it is notified? Where do you notify a act? Where do you notify the act? Where the act is notified? If you remember, we had discussed something called as NIOG, notification in the ऑफिशियल गजेट. ओके, भारत का राजपत्र जिसको हम बोलते हैं ऑफिशियल गजेट. सो वेन एवर अ बिल इज अप्रूव्ड बाय द पार्लियामेंट and then further signed by the president, we say the bill has now become an act. Okay, and then the act is notified in the official gazette, and then it becomes effective. the act becomes effective. Okay. Now, the second question that arises here, what is a bill? 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 Okay. Muskan has answered it's draft. It's draft. So basically, bill is the draft law, which means it is still into the process. Okay. You can also say what is bill? Bill is a proposed legislation. Does this make sense? Bill is a draft law. It is a proposed legislation. So if you see, citizenship amendment bill was introduced in the parliament. Then the parliament passed the citizenship amendment bill. Further, it was signed by the president and it became what? Citizenship Amendment Act. Why I have taken this example? Because this example was there in the news and I'm sure all of you must have gone through this news. CAA and CAB, lot of protests had taken place. So when I say CAB, this was what? This was the draft law, and CAA is what? It is an act which is notified in the official gazette. Okay. So what is Companies Act? Companies Act is a statute. Okay. It is a law which is passed by the parliament. Okay. When we talk about law, which is the supreme law of India? Which is the supreme law of India? The topmost law. This act is supreme. Which is that act? No act can go beyond this act. Very good. Ronak has answered. Ujjwal has answered. It is the Constitution of India. Right? We talk about, or we get to see a lot of discussion about India. We say what type of India we are. Right? When the political parties, they say ये वो वाला India नहीं है जो India हमने सोचा था. Right? All those things they say. And why do they say? Secularism, right? Freedom and all those things we talk about. So all that is what? All that is written in the Constitution of India. So Constitution of India is the supreme act. Now, under the Constitution of India, you will find various acts which are passed by the parliament. Okay. Then these acts would be supported by, not everything will be written in the act. These acts would be supported by, right? These acts are going to be supported by either the rules, okay, or the act will be supported by the regulations. It will be approved by the rules or it will be approved by the regulations. Okay. Now, collectively, all this is called as law. If I say act, rules, regulations, collectively, all this is what? All this is law. But then there is a difference between act, rules and regulations. Okay. There is a difference between the three. Apart from that, you will also find circular. You will also find clarification. You will also find the notification order. But broadly, if you see, you need to get a complete understanding of these three terms. One is act, another is rules, and third one is the regulations. So we have already read what is act. Act is what? Act is a bill which is approved by the parliament. Further, it is which is signed by the president. When we discuss about rules, who makes the rules? rules are made by the ministry. Okay, the rules are made by the ministry and the regulations are made by the regulator. Okay, the rules are made by the ministry, the regulations are made by the regulator. A classic example of this would be, so who are the regulators? Who are the regulators? You all have studied in your business and commercial knowledge the regulators of India. Can you name some regulators? The regulators of India, you all have studied. RBI, correct? SEBI, CCI, Competition Commission of India, correct? IRDAI, very good, very good. So there are, there are certain, so the act is again passed by the parliament. Then there will be some rules. Okay, the rules will be passed by, or the rules would be, better word, it will be issued by the ministry. So whosoever is the respective ministry. So I just showed you the Ministry of Corporate Affairs website, correct? For example, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. For example, Ministry of Finance, right? So we get that. So as far as your Companies Act is concerned, we have the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, which comes up with all sorts of uh, rules which are passed under the Companies Act. Then you will find regulators. Okay. And the regulators, they issue regulations. Easy to learn, easy to understand. Collectively, all these three, they are called as the law. So, sir, which one we need to comply? Do we need to comply with Act? Do we need to comply with rules? Do we need to comply with regulations? Answer is you need to comply with all the three. Okay. You need to comply with all the three. You cannot say, I will just comply with the regulations, I will just comply with the rules, or I will just comply with the act. Answer is no. You'll have to comply with all the three, right? So all three needs to be complied. I'll write it here. All three needs to be complied. Okay. All three needs to be complied. All right. One more thing I want to discuss here with you. In the hierarchy, which will be supreme? So we said that the Constitution of India is the supreme law. No act can go beyond the Constitution of India. First point, no act can go beyond the Constitution of India. That is the reason you are going to find, right, any law which is passed, which is controversial, be it your Citizenship Amendment Act, or you can say the farm laws, the opposition party or the concerned affected party, they go to Supreme Court and they say that this act is unconstitutional, please remove this law, right? So first and foremost thing you need to remember is no act can go beyond the Constitution of India. Now, can I say act can supersede the rules or act can supersede the regulations? क्या एक्ट रूल्स को सुपरसीड कर सकता है? क्या एक्ट रूल्स को सुपरसीड कर सकता है? देखो, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के सामने तो भीगी बिल्ली बन जाएगा. एक्ट ऐसा नहीं बोल सकता कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया को, ए आई एम एक्ट, आई एम पास्ड बाय द पार्लियामेंट. कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन क्या बोलेगा? ए चले शांत रहे, अभी बैठ, तू बच्चा है अभी. आया समझ में? बट क्या एक्ट रूल्स के सामने ऐसे बोल सकता है, ए चले तू बैठ, तू बच्चा है अभी? आंसर इज यस, राइट. द रूल्स cannot supersede, right? So here I would say the rules and the regulations, the rules and the regulations cannot go beyond they cannot go beyond the act. Got it? Is this clear? Now, amongst the rules and regulations, who is going to win? Who is going to win amongst the rules and regulations? Amongst the rules and regulations, who is going to win? So just remember, I have written both of them together. Correct? See, I have written act below the Constitution of India, and act I have written, the rules I have written below act, and the regulations is parallel. ये दोनों एक ही बराबर में है. ये दोनों एक ही बराबर पे है. Correct? So if they both are together, then in that case, we will say the rules and regulations, no one is superior. Both of them are equal. Both of them are pari passu. लॉ में एक टर्म होता है जिसको हम बोलते हैं परी पासो. क्या आपने ये टर्म पहले पढ़ा है? बोथ ऑफ देम आर परी पासु. अगर आपने नहीं पढ़ा तो ये टर्म आप अभी कंपनीज एक्ट में डेफिनेटली पढ़ोगे. परी पासु मींस दे आर रैंक्ड इक्वली. दे आर रैंक्ड इक्वली. तो सर अगर रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस में झगड़ा हो गया तो कौन जीतेगा? ऐसा कभी होगा ही नहीं. देयर विल बी नो सिचुएशन where there will be rules versus regulations. There will be no such situation. Why there will be no such situation? Because the act will clearly define. The act is going to clearly define on what matters rules will be made, on what matters regulations would be made. Got it? This will be clearly defined in the act itself. Now, just understand one more thing. Can you make rules for any damn thing? Can Ministry of Corporate Affairs come and make rules for any damn thing on the Companies Act? Answer is no. It is only where in the Companies Act, you will find the Companies Act has provided a route that no, for this particular matter, you can refer to the rules. For this particular matter, please refer the regulations. Only then you can go to rules and regulations. Otherwise, you just cannot make randomly rules and regulations. Okay, guys, this is clear. You cannot make rules for any damn thing in the law. It will be clearly mentioned. Like I will tell you, just see this definition. If I show you this definition part, right, you'll come across, I'll show you some word. Just see. And here you will understand. Can you see here? Deposit. We will be studying about this. Just see this. What is written there? Deposit includes any receipt of money by way of deposit or loan or in any other form by a company, but does not include such category of amount as may be prescribed. So wherever the word as may be prescribed is written, this means you have to refer rules, right? So if I click here, you'll find a new page which is talking about the rules. So this is the rules. This is rule 2. Got it? Guys, do you get this? Right? So you have act and then you have the rules. You'll find all the rules. So all different topics you'll find. So we'll have share capital. So you have this. So just see this. You have this chapter number 4, which deals with share capital and debentures. And in the rules, you'll find companies, share capital and debenture rules. तो आप जब इन sections को पढ़ोगे, मतलब जब आप section 43 से section 72 को पढ़ोगे, तो जहां जहां पे भी लिखा हुआ रहेगा as may be prescribed, वहां पे आपको किसको रेफर करना पड़ेगा? आपको रेफर करना पड़ेगा कंपनीज, शेयर कैपिटल एंड डिबेंचर रूल्स. ये क्लियर हुआ आपको? सी, आज की डेट में इन टुडेज लेक्चर आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू टीच यू एनीथिंग न्यू. मैं आपको आज की डेट में सिर्फ यही बताऊंगा कि हमें लॉ को कैसे पढ़ना है, कंपनीज एक्ट को कैसे पढ़ना है, सो दैट आप मेरे पे डिपेंडेंट नहीं रहो. आई डोंट वांट यू टू बी डिपेंडेंट ऑन मी, आई वांट यू टू बी इंडिपेंडेंट, राइट? आत्मनिर्भर, करेक्ट? I want you to be that, so that you yourself can apply your brain and you can understand. Otherwise, trust me, Companies Act को पढ़ना और today reading any act becomes very tedious, because you have to refer act, you have to refer rules, you have to refer regulations, and somewhere you get confused. Sir, rules say this, act says this, regulation says this. You have to connect all the three and understand. It becomes little tedious for you, but this will become very easy, because again, like this. So same thing when you will study income tax as a chartered accountant, you may feel this, that's why do we need to study law in so much of detail? That's the role of a company secretary. So sir, let the company secretary study, make them study the company law in detail. But trust me, as a chartered accountant, you cannot skip Companies Act, right? And also in the income tax, you will find the same thing. Income Tax Act read with income tax rules. So you'll find act and rules everywhere. So ये जो structure मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ, ये structure universal है, everything. तो अगर आप यहाँ पे देखो, जैसे एग्जाम्पल मैं आपको देता हूँ, आपके पास इनकम टैक्स एक्ट है, राइट? सो ये आ गया आपके पास इनकम टैक्स एक्ट 1961 का। इसके साथ में आप क्या पढ़ोगे? इनकम टैक्स के रूल्स। सेम वे आप यहाँ पे पढ़ोगे कंपनीज एक्ट, कंपनीज एक्ट 2013, और इसी के साथ में आप क्या पढ़ोगे? कंपनीज, जो भी ब्रैकेट में होगा, अभी जैसे हमने देखा शेयर कैपिटल एंड डिबेंचर, जो भी आपका रूल्स रहेगा वो यहाँ पे आ जाएगा। सेम वे अगर आपको मैं यहाँ पे बताऊं, ये तो मैंने रूल्स के लिए बताया। सेम वे यू विल फाइंड रेगुलेटर। तो सेबी जो रेगुलेटर है वो कहां से निकल के आया? हु हैज गिवन बर्थ टू सेबी? हु हैज गिवन बर्थ टू सेबी? हु हैज गिवन बर्थ टू सेबी? कोई भी रेगुलेटर कहां से निकल के आता है? कंपटीशन एक्ट, आरबीआई, सब कहां से निकल के आए? नो, रौनक, मुस्कान, both of you are wrong. देखो, when I discuss about the regulator SEBI, SEBI is incorporated under SEBI Act, SEBI Act 1992. Same way if you same way if you discuss Competition Commission of India, Competition Commission of India is incorporated under Competition Act, Competition Act 2002. So in the Competition Act 2002, in the SEBI Act 1992, you will find that on these topics, the regulations can be made by SEBI. On these topics, regulations can be made by the regulator. Now, do you understand why I said the rules and the regulations will never collide? Why they will never collide? Because the act will always make this distinction. ये रोल आपका है, ये रोल आपका है। आप बताओ, ये क्लियर हुआ? जैसे हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ने 3 रोल्स को क्लियरली डिफाइन करके रखा हुआ है। व्हाट आर द 3 रोल्स? लॉ में यहां पर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ने बोला है एक रोल है हमारा लेजिस्लेटिव, जो बेसिकली लॉ बनाएगा। ये कौन हो गया? ये हो गया हमारा पार्लियामेंट। फिर एक फंक्शन हमारा बताया जिसको हम क्या बोलते हैं? एग्जीक्यूटिव फंक्शन, जो यहां पर लॉ को क्या करेगा? इंप्लीमेंट करेगा। ओके, और एक हमारा हो गया जुडिशरी। जुडिशरी क्या करेगा? लॉ को इंटरप्रेट करेगा और डिस्प्यूट्स को हैंडल करेगा। नो वन पर्सन इज गोइंग टू मेक द लॉ, no the same person will not implement the law, and the same person is not going to handle the disputes also. I, me and myself, ये सिर्फ सलमान खान की मूवीज में होता है, रियलिटी में ऐसा नहीं रहता। रियलिटी में देयर इज ऑलवेज अ बाइफर्केशन, देयर इज ऑलवेज अ डिस्टिंक्शन बिटवीन द रूल्स एंड द, सो दैट्स व्हाट इज हियर। जो रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस है उसको क्लियरली यहां पर डिफाइन किया जाएगा। सो हाउ यू हैव टू स्टडी कंपनीज एक्ट? यू विल बी स्टडिंग the Companies Act like this, Companies Act along with the rules, and on what matters the rules will be made in the act wherever you find as may be prescribed. जहां पर भी आपको मिले as may be prescribed, this means आपको किसको रेफर करना है? रूल्स को रेफर करना है। अ क्लासिक एग्जांपल, इफ यू सी, ये टॉपिक ऐसा है which you all must be remembering also. In case of a public company, right? In case of a public company, What is the minimum number of members needed? Minimum number of members. So as per Companies Act, it is 7. Okay. Then they have written like this: 7 or as may be prescribed. Correct. So, and as may be prescribed, they have written or higher, right? 7 or more as may be prescribed. So tomorrow, if through the rules, they say, Ministry of Corporate Affairs say that to incorporate a public company, we need minimum of 20 members. So अभी आप किसको follow करोगे? 7 या 20? So answer is 20, because the Companies Act itself is saying that if the rules say something, please follow the rules. आप बताओ ये समझ में आया? But if rules are silent, then in that case you follow the act which says minimum 7. Got it? ये पॉइंट आपको समझा? ये वाला पॉइंट क्लियर हुआ? सेकेंडली, आप मुझे बताओ, इन केस ऑफ अ पब्लिक कंपनी, व्हाट इज द मिनिमम पेड अप कैपिटल नीडेड? What is the minimum paid up capital needed? So earlier it used to say minimum of 5 lakh, right? Act used to say minimum of 5 lakh. बाद में इसको डिलीट कर दिया और क्या बोला? As may be prescribed. Now, as may be prescribed means Companies Act is saying, I don't want to talk about minimum paid up capital. Let the Ministry of Corporate Affairs tell you what should be the minimum paid up capital if you want to incorporate a public company. As of now, Ministry of Corporate Affairs is silent. They have said nothing about it. So right now, if you want to incorporate a public company, you can incorporate that even with 10,000 rupees. There is no problem. Got it? But tomorrow, if the rules prescribe and they say that, okay, to incorporate a paid up public company, you need a minimum paid up capital of 10 lakh rupees, then with 10,000 rupees, I cannot incorporate a public company. I need minimum of 10 lakh rupees. Guys, do you understand what I'm trying to say here? How you have to read the law, right? It's very, very important here. Now, if you have understood till here, I have another question for you all. Can the rules prescribe and say that for a public company, minimum 4 members would be needed? That will be fine. Can the rules prescribe 4? Can the rules prescribe 4? Saloni is saying no. Everyone is saying no. Why? Why so? Why are you saying no? Why do you say no? Because the act says 7 or more as may be prescribed, which means the rules can prescribe more than 7, but they cannot go less than 7. Okay. If this more word was not there, then if this more word was not there, because the act says 7 or more as may be prescribed, hence we say that minimum 7 is needed. If this word more was not there, and act would have said, in case of a public company, minimum number of members will be 7 or as may be prescribed, then in that case, even if the rules say 4, 4 would have been correct. But as of now, the 4 is wrong because of this word more. Got it? Got it? So what Vineet you have said is also correct. Act is always superior than the rules. Okay? All right. I have another question for you all. Let's say in the Companies Act, the sentence would have been like this: minimum number of members in a private company, 7. Can the rules come and say that no, you need minimum 10? In this case, can the rules say? Can you have rules for this? Answer is no. Why? Why you can't have rules? Why you can't have rules? Why you can't have rules? Because, sir, this word is missing. As may be prescribed. This is missing. The act, I said you, sir, you only said the act is going to provide on what matter the rule will be made. Yes or no? The act will clearly define for what matter the rule should be made. And here I said you the rules will be made wherever the word as may be prescribed is written. So here, since as may be prescribed is not there, so you cannot make rules on that particular topic. इतना आप लोगों को क्लियर हुआ कि नहीं हुआ? इतना आप लोगों को क्लियर हुआ? अगर इतना क्लियर हुआ तो आपका फंडामेंटल जो है कंपनीज एक्ट को कैसे पढ़ना है वो मैंने आप लोगों को क्लियर कर दिया है. ठीक है, अब हम आगे बढ़ते और हम मॉड्यूल की तरफ बढ़ते एंड लेट्स डिस्कस कंपनीज एक्ट हियर. सो अब अगर आप यहां पे देखो, वी हैव फर्स्ट एंड फॉरमोस्ट क्वेश्चन जो आपको यहां पे आंसर करना होगा, राइट? इट इज with respect to the applicability of the act. Very, very important that this act is applicable on whom. Is Companies Act applicable on a partnership firm? Is Companies Act applicable on the partnership firm? Can you say Companies Act will be applicable on the sole proprietorship firm? Why so? ऐसा क्यों? ऐसा क्यों? Because, sir, in section 1, Companies Act has clearly mentioned that the act will be applicable on whom. So it says that the companies, the provisions of this act, which act? Companies Act, will be applicable to the companies which are incorporated under this act or any previous company law. Now, what do you mean by any previous company law? So before 1956 Act, 2013 Act, you had the 1956 Act. Before that, you had 1913 Act. So any of the previous company law which was there, and all the companies which are incorporated in those act, the new Companies Act will be applicable on that also. Take for example Reliance Industries. Reliance Industries and was incorporated in the Companies Act 1956. So can Reliance Industries say that the Companies Act 2013 is in, this is passed by the parliament in 2013 only, right? So this is not applicable on us because our company was incorporated some 30 years below before. Will follow 1956 Act only? Answer is no, because the Companies Act 2013 clearly mentions that the provisions of this act will be applicable on all the companies which are incorporated in the previous company law also. So be it the 1956 Act or the 1913 Act. Take for example Bajaj, Bajaj Motors, incorporated, Wipro. These all were incorporated in the 1913 Act. Take for example the companies like ITC and Tata. Those were incorporated in the Companies Act of the 18th century, right? So it's absolutely fine, irrespective whether the company was incorporated in the Companies Act 2013 or any of the previous company law. Companies Act will be applicable to your company. Then we have these three special companies, right? Then we have these three special companies, and you have, one is the insurance company, one is the banking company, and another is the companies which are engaged in the generation or the supply of electricity. So I say electricity company. So these are some special companies. Okay, these are some special companies, and on these special companies you have some special act also. The Companies Act is there. They're not denying the Companies Act is not there. Companies Act is there, but apart from Companies Act, they also have their specific act. Like a insurance company has this Insurance Act and the Insurance Regulatory Development Authority Act 1999, under which the IRDAI is set up, the new regulator. Okay, so the Insurance Act. So if there is an insurance company, on that Insurance Act is also applicable. Insurance Regulatory Development Act is also applicable. Same way, if you see a banking company, you have Banking Regulation Act 1949, that is also applicable here. In case of electricity company, you have Electricity Act 2003. Now, which one to follow? Which one to follow? So let's presume there is a banking company. So banking company is going to follow which company? Is it going to follow the Companies Act, or it is going to follow the Banking Regulation Act? Which act would be followed? So wherever the Banking Regulation Act is silent, you are going to comply Companies Act. Okay. Wherever, okay, wherever Banking Regulation Act provides, then in that case, this will be applicable. Now here, this is not applicable only. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what is written in the Companies Act, what is written in the Banking Regulation Act. Sorry, what is written in the Companies Act. Whatever is written in the Banking Regulation Act, that will be applicable. Got the point? Guys, got the point? It's like you have a patient with broken bone. There is a fracture, and you have a general physician, and you have a orthopedic. Okay. The general physician says, take ABC medicine, and the ortho is silent. What will you do? What will you do? The orthopedic is silent. Orthopedic is not saying anything. What will you do? You will take ABC. But let's presume the general physician says, take ABC. However, the orthopedic says, take PQR. Now which one you will take? Now which one you will take? You'll take PQR. You'll say, general physician, please stay silent. Same thing goes here. You have the banking company, which is governed by both Companies Act as well as the Banking Regulation Act. Wherever the Banking Regulation Act is silent, you can follow the Companies Act. But wherever the Banking Regulation Act provides for a particular provision, Companies Act will not matter. You will have to follow the Banking Regulation Act. A classic example of this. Have you gone through your entire syllabus? आप लोगों ने अपने accounts का पूरा syllabus देखा? Have you seen your accounts entire syllabus? आपने देखा? उसमें आपने देखो, आपने एक चैप्टर पढ़ा होगा फाइनल अकाउंट्स. करेक्ट. एक चैप्टर आपने फाइनल अकाउंट्स देखा होगा और एक आपने देखा होगा इंश्योरेंस कंपनी अकाउंट्स. एक आपने देखा होगा इलेक्ट्रिसिटी अकाउंट्स और एक आपने देखा होगा बैंकिंग कंपनी अकाउंट्स. देखा आपने? आई डोंट नो अकाउंट्स 1 में है या अकाउंट्स 2 में है, या आपने ऐसा देखा होगा. वाई सो? फाइनल अकाउंट्स ऑफ अ कंपनी फिनिश होना चाहिए था ना. इंश्योरेंस कंपनी, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, बैंकिंग कंपनी, इनका अलग अलग आपको चैप्टर क्यों पढ़ना पड़ रहा है? दैट इज बिकॉज यू हैव सेक्शन 129 जो बताता है कि एक कंपनी का फाइनल अकाउंट्स कैसे बनेगा. बट देन इंश्योरेंस कंपनी, इसका अपना खुद का फॉर्मेट है. तो जब आप एक इंश्योरेंस कंपनी का फाइनल अकाउंट्स बनाओगे, you will follow the format which is given by the insurance company and not the format which is given by the Companies Act under Schedule 3. Section 123 के अंदर Schedule 3 जो बताया हुआ है, you will not follow Schedule 3, you will go by the own format of this company. Same way Electricity Act, इसने भी अपना खुद का format बताया हुआ है. So you are going to follow the format of the electricity company. Same way RBI has provided, and in the Banking Regulation Act, they have provided the separate format. So you will follow the format of these three regulators and not what is provided in the Companies Act. Got it? Guys, got it? Now can you understand the difference? Now when you will read this, you will come across this word. Now let's read it completely. Insurance company, except in so far as the said provisions are inconsistent with the provisions of insurance company. So for insurance company also, Companies Act will be applicable. But wherever the provisions will contradict with Insurance Act or the Insurance Regulatory Development Authority Act, then in that case, Companies Act will not be applicable. And that's the reason you have final accounts of company, and then you have insurance company accounts, banking company accounts, and electricity company accounts. Does this make sense? Does this make sense to you all? Right? Okay, let's go ahead then. You have this any other company governed by the special act, okay, for time being in force. Except for that, the provisions are inconsistent with the provisions of such special act. So let's say you have Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, that's a body corporate, and it is under the Chartered Accountants Act 1949. So wherever the Chartered Accountants Act 1949 provides for anything, they'll follow that. So again, just remember that orthopedic and general physician. So wherever you have orthopedic, you kick out the general physician, you don't listen to that, you ignore general physician and you focus only on the orthopedic. And wherever the orthopedic is silent, you listen to whatever the orthopedic, whatever the general physician says. So same thing, Companies Act is like a general physician. So where the special act is silent, you listen to the general physician only. And wherever the provisions, their special act provides the special provision, you follow the special provision and you ignore what is written in the Companies Act. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and see. So FCI, NHAI, so all those are the special acts, right? So this is there. So title, extent, commencement and application. So title of this act is what? It is still Companies Act. Extent, so it is extended to whole of India, the entire India. It is covered. Okay, so whether you incorporate a company in Maharashtra or you incorporate a company in Karnataka or you go to Assam, any place you go, the Companies Act would be applicable there. Sir, why it is like this? Just check how is the Companies Act of USA designed. There is no one Companies Act in USA. USA, you know, it has different states, right? That's why it's called as the United States of America. So in case of United States, every state has their own Companies Act. You don't have a Maharashtra Companies Act. You don't have Gujarat Companies Act. Okay, you have only one Companies Act. So that's the reason it has been given there. Extend to whole of India. And commencement. So section 1 comes and then remaining act. As I said, the notification needs to be done. NIOG notification in the official gazette. So notification in the official gazette is to be done. Okay, the notification in the official gazette is to be done. So when the Companies Act came, the entire 470 sections did not come all together. It was introduced step by step. So पहले थोड़े sections आए, फिर थोड़े और sections आए, फिर थोड़े और sections आए. So step by step you had different sections here. An application, this is already said, it is applicable to all the companies. Then it is also applicable to the special companies till the time their special act do not contradict with the current Companies Act. This is clear. Then the second most important section, right? The section number 2 is again the most important section of any law. Just remember how I am teaching you Companies Act right now, because whatever I am teaching you as of now will be again revised when we study General Clauses Act and the interpretation of statutes. Why I have not started with that? Because instead of teaching that and coming here, what I'm trying to do is I'm explaining you everything here, and then when I will teach you that chapter, you will be able to correlate it very well. कि देखो एकदम ऐसा ही था ना, बिल्कुल वैसे. So section 2 is very important. Every act, section 2 is very important because it provides for the definition. Now why definition is important? Because how the word is to be read, okay, how the word is to be read, you will get to know from this definition clause only, right? Howsoever the definition defines, the same way you will have to read and interpret the law, right? Take for example, when I say shareholder will have voting rights, Now, which shareholder I am talking about? Am I talking about the equity, or I am talking about the preference, or I am talking about the both? So some of you are saying both and some of you are saying equity. ये भेदभाव क्यों? Why you are saying equity? Why you are saying both? Why equity? Why equity? Why do you say equity? So again we will have to see section 2. Section 2 defines share as what? Does it define share as only equity share, or does it define as both equity as well as preference? So if section 2 defines equity, then only equity, only equity shareholder will be able to vote. If section 2 defines both equity and preference, then both of them can vote. Got it? Got it? This was a very simple question that I asked. This was a very simple question that I asked. But the definition clause is very, very important, because if the definition clause is not there, everyone is going to make their own definition. Everyone is going to interpret the law as per their discretion. जिसको जैसा अच्छा लगेगा वो उसी हिसाब से उसको फॉलो करेगा लॉ को. एंड देन देयर विल बी लॉट ऑफ कंफ्यूजन, मार काट पूरा शुरू हो जाएगा. ठीक है, दंगल दंगल शुरू हो जाएगा. बिकॉज अगर मैं चाहता हूँ प्रेफरेंस वाला भी वोट करे, तो आई वुड से दिस इज माय इंटरप्रिटेशन. और मैं चाहता हूँ अगर प्रेफरेंस वाला वोट नहीं करे, सो आई वुड से दिस इज माय इंटरप्रिटेशन. अभी देखा जाए तो दोनों ही करेक्ट है. यस और नो? आपने वो वाला देखा? खैर छोड़ो, यहाँ पे कंफ्यूजन हो जाएगा, इसलिए आई एम नॉट डिस्कसिंग दैट. सो जस्ट सी द डेफिनेशन क्लॉज इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. एंड थ्रू आउट द लॉ, Companies Act, whatever is being used or whatever the way the word has been defined in section 2, you are going to read, understand and interpret the law the same way. And that is the reason you'll find this, that the definition section or the clauses are known as internal aids to the constitution construction. So in your chapter interpretation of statute, you will find one is the internal aid to construction, another is the external aid. So definition is the internal aid because ये law के अंदर ही होता है. कंपनीज एक्ट है, कंपनीज एक्ट के अंदर ही आपको सेक्शन 2 मिलेगा, ये जो डेफिनेशन क्लॉज है आपका. ठीक है, सो दैट इज व्हाई इट इज कॉल्ड एज द इंटरनल एड टू कंस्ट्रक्शन. एक्सटर्नल एड क्या होता है हम बाद में देखेंगे, बट दिस इज व्हाट, दिस इज योर इंटरनल एड टू द डिस्कशन. सो अभी यहाँ पर आपको ध्यान रखना है that section 2. So I'll do one thing, I'll again take you to the Bare Act here. Okay, I'll keep on taking you here to this website, right, so that you are familiar with this. तो हम यहाँ पे definitions में आते हैं. So आप ये देखो कितने definitions है. By the way, what you are going to study here and what you are going to study here is almost same. So you see, first definition is what? It is abridged prospectus. So which means a memorandum containing the salient features. Same way you see here, you'll find it here also. Abridged prospectus means the memorandum containing the salient features. Sir, then why here? Why not from our module? Because as I said, keeps on changing. There are possibility that your module is not updated. So we will refer it from here only. Tomorrow onwards, I'll keep this in the PPT only, so that I can write the extra points also, like how I used to do it in the foundation. I will scribble an extra points and everything in there only. But as of now, just focus here. So you have section 2. This is subsection 1, subsection 2, subsection 3, 4, 5, 6. And you will find subsection 95. You'll find subsection 95 here, till 95. So you have till 94A, then you have 95. What does 95 say? This is very very important. हम 1 से लेके 94A तक तो पढ़ेंगे, but ये वाला subsection बहुत important है. ये वाला subsection क्या बोलता है? This says that words and expressions used and not defined in this act. सबसे पहले इस पे फोकस करते हैं. What does this mean? What does this mean? Words and expressions used and not defined in this act. What does this mean? What does this mean? Simple English. This is simple English. What does this mean? Words and expressions used and not defined in this act. What does this mean? What does this mean? Correct. Yash has answered in the comment section, not stated in the above definition. Okay. So there can be, so let's say the word winding up is being defined. The word full-time director is defined. The word voting right is defined. Unlimited company, turnover, tribunal, voting power, sweat equity, layer, everything is being defined. So all those words which are defined, that has to be read in the same way how it has been defined here. But if there is a word which is not defined in section 2 and it is also not defined in the Companies Act, so sometimes the words are not defined in section 2, those are defined in that particular section only, but those are not defined in those sections also. It is not defined in, neither defined in section 2 nor it is defined in any part of the Companies Act, but still that word is being used. So that word will have the same meaning as it is defined in the Securities Contract Regulation Act 1956. Okay. Then if Securities Contract Regulation Act is silent, then go and check the Securities and Exchange Board of India Act 1992. If there also that word is not defined, then go and check the Depositories Act 1966. Guys, is this clear? See, I'll explain you again. I'll explain you again here. So you have, so when it comes to the definitions in Companies Act, okay. So for this, what you are going to first refer, the first preference will be given to section 2. Okay. What will be the second preference? The second preference will be given to any other explanation in the act. So sometimes the words are defined by way of explanation in the act. So you will focus there. Like section 2 says that share means both equity and preference. But then when you discuss voting rights, right? Which shareholder will have the voting rights? So there the explanation says that it is only the equity shareholder who is going to get the voting rights. So this is there. But let's say it is not, but it is still part of the Companies Act. Okay. But if it is not defined in the Companies Act, right? When it is not defined anywhere in the Companies Act, when it is not defined anywhere in the Companies Act 2013, then what you need to follow? Then you will have to check. Then you will check first. Which one? SCRA, Securities Contract Regulation Act 1956. If Securities Contract Regulation Act do not define that particular word, then you will go to SEBI Act 1992. If SEBI Act is also silent, then third, you will go to the Depositories Act 1996. Sir, what if it is not defined in the Depositories Act also? Then what to do? Then you will look for the definition in some other relevant law. Then you can also check the General Clauses Act. Remember, this is part of your syllabus. General Clauses Act. You will focus this. You can then also refer. If General Clauses Act is silent, then you can take reference of the dictionary also. Right? So that's how you get to know द मीनिंग ऑफ द वर्ड. बट आपको क्रोनोलॉजी समझ में आया? हमारा पहला लेक्चर हमेशा क्रोनोलॉजी का ही रहता है. फाउंडेशन में भी क्रोनोलॉजी था, राइट? ऑफर, एक्सेप्टेंस, अग्रीमेंट, लीगल, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, क्रोनोलॉजी. यहाँ पे भी क्रोनोलॉजी है. आपको क्रोनोलॉजी समझा? आप सबसे पहले सेक्शन 2 को देखोगे. After section 2, you will see if the word is not defined in section 2, then is it defined through an explanation in the act? Then you will refer to that. If it is not defined anywhere in the act, then you will go to SCRA, then not, then SEBI, then depository. ऐसा नहीं है मेरा जो मन, मैं चाहे सेबी पे जाऊं, मैं चाहे SCRA में जाऊं, मैं चाहे डिपॉजिटरीज में जाऊं, जिधर मेरा मन मैं उधर शिफ्ट करूंगा, ऐसा नहीं है, राइट? मुझे डिपॉजिटरीज एक्ट ज्यादा अच्छा लगता है तो मैं इधर जाएगा, फिर इधर. Not like this. This is the hierarchy in which you have to go. Okay, ये क्लियर हुआ? Quite possible this can be your MCQ question. The words which are not defined in the Companies Act will be first referred from A, B, C, D. SCRA, SEBI Act, Depositories Act or any other law or General Clauses Act. So your first answer would be SCRA. याद रखने का तरीका देखो, बिल्कुल ये देखो, बिल्कुल सीक्वेंस में है. 56 फिर 92 फिर 1996. So you have to go in this sequence only. Okay. अभी ऐसा नहीं, in other law also you will find it in this way, but in this particular act you will find it in this way. 1956, then 1992, and then the 1996 act. Okay, so this can be one of the MCQ question. So this is what is given here, that also according to clause 95 of section 2, words and expressions not used in the act but defined here, so you'll have to follow this, right? And then you have section 2, which will start with all the definitions here. So we'll not start with all the definitions today. We'll pick up some basic definitions, okay? Something which you can easily understand, and then we will go ahead. So see, you have the definition of articles. So what is articles? So articles means the articles of association of a company as originally framed. What do you mean by as originally framed? So when the company was incorporated, okay, when the company was incorporated, at that point of time, whatever articles you had formed, that is going to be your articles of association. Thereafter, the articles can also get altered. Yes or no? The articles of association can also get altered. You can alter the articles of association. So when you alter the articles of association, even that will be part of your articles of association. And then let's say we also know the previous Companies Act. So if it was of the previous Companies Act or pursuance of this act, anything, it is going to be your articles of association. Not relevant, you don't have to remember it. You don't have to remember it for your exam, but just remember this much, that whenever the word is used articles, it means what? It means your articles of association only. Okay. Then we have this one word which says alter. Alter or alteration. What does alteration means? What does alteration means? So during the lockdown, I had put on weight. Okay. I had put on weight. My waist went from 30 to 32. So I went to a tailor and I said the tailor, भैया ये जो ट्राउजर है इसको आप 2 इंच लूज कर दो ताकि ये मेरे को फिट आ जाए. करेक्ट? यस और नो? तो क्या आप उसको बोलोगे ऑल्टरेशन है? क्या आप उसको बोलोगे ऑल्टरेशन है? मैंने ऑल्टरेशन करवाया अपने ट्राउजर में. स्कूल के अंदर ऐसा होता था, राइट? नाउ let's say I have again lost weight. Now again I am back to 30 waist. I will again go to the tailor and I will ask him, भैया ये टेलर भैया इसको आप टाइट कर दो, stitch it and make it back to 30. That is also alteration. Correct? Okay. I had a shirt. I purchased one shirt. That shirt had a pocket, right? That shirt had a pocket. वो चेस्ट पे जो पॉकेट रहता है वो पॉकेट था, जिसमें वो अंकल लोग पेन लगा देते हैं, कई लोग मोबाइल फोन डाल देते हैं, तो वो पॉकेट था. I said I like this shirt, but I don't want this pocket because I'll be wearing this shirt with a denim and not with the trouser. So I went to a tailor and I said, Uncle, ये जो pocket है, इस pocket को आप remove कर दो, चलेगा? Pocket को आप remove कर दो. That is also alteration. Guys, that is also alteration. Correct? I like the shirt. That was a full sleeve shirt, but I said I have just joined gymming. I have done gymming and all. So I've got good biceps now. So I don't want to wear full sleeve shirt. I want to wear a half sleeve shirt and show off my biceps. So I went to the tailor and I said, Uncle, इसकी बाजुएं काट दो और इसको हाफ स्लीव्स का शर्ट बना दो. That is also alteration. सर क्या मजाक कर रहे हो? आप जब भी टेलर के पास जाओगे वो अल्टरेशन ही होगा. करेक्ट? Yes or no? Same thing if you see. The word that has been used here is alteration or alter includes. अभी definition कैसे कैसे हो सकता है? Definition तीन तरीके से आपको मिल सकता है. Anything which will be defined, that will be defined using the word means. अगर means करके defined कर दिया, this means as it is. If I say company means a company incorporated in the Companies Act of India, khatam. So if the company is incorporated in the Companies Act of India, it is a company, means finish. If I say the word includes, this means this is what? This is inclusive definition. इसमें और भी चीजें जुड़ सकती है. ठीक है, एक इलस्ट्रेटिव लिस्ट बना दिया, उसमें बोला अच्छा आप भी हो, आप भी हो, ओके आप भी हो, आप भी हो, आप भी हो, ऐसा आपको मिलता रहेगा. आ रहा है आपको समझ में? एक आ जाएगा आपका इंक्लूसिव डेफिनेशन. ओके, जैसे आप एक सिंपल एग्जांपल लो. हु इज माय स्टूडेंट? हु इज माय स्टूडेंट? हु इज माय स्टूडेंट? स्टूडेंट मींस द स्टूडेंट. उज्जवल इज सेइंग मी. सो अभी मैं स्टूडेंट को अगर डिफाइन करूं, if I have to define my student, okay, Ronak is saying even I am your student, Vinit is saying even I am your student. So if I have to define my student, how will I define? I will define my student like this. Student means the student who attends live lecture, right? So you all are attending my live lecture, so you all are my student. And then I will also put one word, and it includes who purchases my offline lectures. Now whether the student watch the offline lectures in the mobile phone, फिर भी वो मेरा student है. If the student watches the offline lectures in the laptop, फिर भी वो मेरा student है. आ रहा है आपको समझ में? Guys, do you get this? Right? So definition inclusive. Okay. Then I have the definition which also says excludes. Then is the definition which I also says excludes. So offline lectures, I would also say even the students who watch my lecture on YouTube, right? That person is also my student. Okay. But if I have to put exclude, so here I can say that a person who is not preparing for exam, a person who is not preparing for exam is not my student. A person who is not preparing for my exam is not a student. Got it? So sometimes people listen to my YouTube lectures, okay, just for their knowledge purpose. They are not doing CA, they just want to get updated, so they are listening. So will I call them my student? Answer is no, because I have defined student in such a way. Technically you can say yes sir, आपसे उनको knowledge मिल रहा है, ज्ञान मिल रहा है, तो सर आपका student ही हुआ. But again, student का definition कैसा है? Student का definition इस तरीके से है. Student means anyone who attends the live lecture, and it includes any student who is watching my lectures offline, whether in mobile, laptop or on YouTube, and it excludes the person who is not preparing for the exam. So there are three types of definitions. Definitions where it will have means, definitions which will have includes, and definition which will have excludes. So excludes definition, it basically uh, it sort out, or it keeps out few people. Okay, sometimes you will find the definition which uses the word both means and includes. राइट आपको कई डेफिनेशंस ऐसे मिलेंगे जहां पर क्या लिखा हुआ रहेगा, दिस मीन्स एंड इंक्लूड्स. ठीक है, तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं. तो वहां पे लॉ मेकर्स ने क्या किया है, कुछ चीजों को एज इट इज समझाए और कुछ चीजों को वो बोल रहे हैं हम लिस्ट में इंक्लूड करते जाएंगे. आ रहा है आपको समझ में? जैसे अगर मैं आपको बोलूं हु इज एन इंडियन, सो इंडियन मीन्स द सिटीजन ऑफ इंडिया. ओके, and it includes people who are not citizen of India but their parents are citizen of India. Do you understand this definition? Can you understand this definition? इसमें means भी है और इसमें includes भी है. आप मुझे बताओ मिस्टर सुंदर पिचाई वो कहां पर फॉल करेंगे, मीन्स में या इंक्लूड्स में? Very good, very good. He will fall into the definition of includes. He will say he is not a citizen of India, but he is still included in the definition of Indian, and therefore Sundar Pichai is also an Indian. So some definitions you will find means, some definitions you will find includes, and some definitions you are going to find excludes. Got it? Guys, got it? Right? So ये definitions आपको यहाँ पे पता करना होगा. So articles का definition कैसा है? It includes. So it includes making the addition, omission and substitution. So तीनों ही यहाँ पर क्या आ जाते हैं आपके alteration के अंदर आ जाते हैं, right? So we will wrap the session today here and we'll start tomorrow. Okay, I've anyway covered the broad introduction, and from tomorrow onwards we'll start with the core definition part. Tomorrow lecture and the lecture after, day after tomorrow, two lectures back to back we will have, which will cover only the definitions. Okay, and thereafter we'll start with the incorporation of the companies, right? So that's it for your today's lecture. Take care. Bye bye. I hope आप लोगों को समझ में आया आज का. उज्जवल, I don't think so मेरा lecture offline होगा, but definitely before your exam I'll keep a offline session. Before your exam I will definitely there for a offline session, not for doubt session. Doubt session तो anyway I can take care anyway. I'll come and I'll take like full day session revision 1. Okay, so full day revision session I'll come and I'll take before your exam. That's a promise from my end. That's a promise from my end, but otherwise my lectures are going to be online only. Okay.